trying to get them back to being a lot more consistent than what we were in that second half, and trying to look more like the football team that was in the first half. So, questions?
You can do that. Like, D'Lo can win us a game from the three-point line. Cat can win us a game from doing everything, and I can just do what I do. So, I mean, when you got three of us on the court, it's hard to guard.
You never know. We might have some gold around our waist in 2022.
Woo! Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. We are back. Wow, thank you. We are back. Live and in action. My name is Fuzzy. We have another host here. His name is Charles out in...
That's me. I'm
LA.
C-Dubs. Yeah.
C-Dubs. And we have another Hest here called Rob.
That's me.
That's him.
Thanks for having me,
He's
guys.
here. And this is FuzzJockRadio, and we're just gonna get right into it. Like right into it right away. Instead of going off on tangents of like that we normally do. Like normally we go on to tangents when we first start out the episodes, and then I kind of forget of where we're at. You know how that happens in C-Dubs?
Mm-hmm.
You're drinking.
Usually happens while I'm drinking a smoothie too.
What are you drinking right now?
A pineapple smoothie.
Oh, hopefully, I really hope that that's one of those liquids that doesn't make your saliva all, like gummy, like where then all of a sudden you're talking like that. You don't want that sound in people's ears. That you don't want to do that. So
Fuzzy,
make sure. Yeah,
going off on a tangent.
No, I'm not. Am I? That's what I didn't want to do. This is FuzzJockRadio. I am one of your Hests. My name is Fuzzy. We have C-Dubs all the way out in LA, and we have another Hest. His name is
Rob T.
Rob T. Rob T's here. Rob T has been here before, not in this studio, but if you remember, season 1, before COVID.
Pre-COVID.
Rob was here.
Yep.
And we like to, I don't know. Do you remember what the format was like in those times, C-Dubs? Like, did we have what did you talk about or what did you do this last week? Did we do stuff like that?
We kind of did. After our first few weeks, we figured to do that, but mostly our thing was based off of whatever was written on the whiteboard, and now we don't even have a whiteboard.
That's right. We did have a whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
One of the seasons, and then later on, in a different season, I had a notebook, Rob.
I think I remember the whiteboard.
You remember the whiteboard?
You had the whiteboard by the time I came on.
Yeah.
And I do remember you caught me off guard. It's like, hey, what did you do this week? And it's like, dang, I didn't really do anything this week.
So maybe that was the first week that we started doing what did you do this week was when you were there.
Could have been. Yep.
So since you haven't been here since before, what have you been up to since COVID? Since COVID happened. Wow.
That's a loaded question.
I still haven't done anything since the first appearance. Huh? No,
it's been a long time.
I don't know. Yeah, I was delivering pizzas for a long time. We were booming. They were busiest we've ever been. Everyone's just sitting at home getting pizza delivered. Yeah, just lately I got a job at the record store, so
good.
Spending my time down there.
Good for you.
Hell yeah. It's been a hot stacks of waxed.
And you've been healthy and
yeah, fortunately, I mean, most people in my circle haven't got sick either, so
let's knock on wood and keep wearing those masks, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad. It's like I said, like we were saying, it's been a very long time, and it's like I went to that record store the other day to get myself a new record, and that's when I ran into Rob, and I'm like, dude, we need to do something. We need to have you on the show again, and he graciously accepted. So, welcome back.
Thank you.
C-Dubs, are you paying any attention over there?
Yeah, I'm pulling my hair out of my head.
During this time?
Yeah.
Couldn't you wait? What are you pulling your hair out about? Is something really stressful?
No, I'm just putting my fingers through my hair, and since it's so long, about a handful comes out every time.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Anyway, you're going to ask me how my week is, aren't you?
Yes, I was going to ask you that.
Oddly enough, I'm not prepared for this question. My
Why
week
not?
was okay. 'cause
You had
it was
time to.
Thursday.
You had time to like. I
I've
went
had the entire podcast to know that this question was coming, and I forgot.
and I also went to Rob first.
Yeah.
So you
I
had some
could have
extra
thought about
time.
it then, but I was listening to Rob.
Well, I
I can't
suppose.
think and listen.
Suppose
at the
you're
same
pulling
time.
out your hair while listening to Rob because he stresses you out. I get it. I get it.
But no, I've had a good week. How about
yeah.
you, Fuzz?
See, that's the thing. You took my bit. And I don't. Okay.
A lot of deflection going on here.
Boy.
A lot of deflection.
Oh boy. Okay, so we got notes going on. We don't even have the notes in the right spot here, Charles. Like, what is going
That's
on
my
here?
fault.
No, it's not.
Are you ready for some football?
I'm not gonna even talk about my week because, well, my week was good. How about let's just say that my week was good. Made some more stuff. Spoolie, the 3D printer, has been printing out nonstop. Mad ornaments for everybody. Ready for some football. December 13th, 1991. That's today, 30 years ago. I was 10 years old. Not to date myself, which I didn't, because you don't remember what I just said. Don't worry, I'm 40, but I'm not that old. 30 years ago, Tecmo Bowl came out. You guys remember that game?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God!
Great game.
It was a football game, right, for the Nintendo?
Believe so.
Yeah, Nintendo.
And we used the noise in our one of our intros. We used to use noises from it.
Yeah, some of the catchiest sound bites. From that game.
And then, did they have any names on the back of their jerseys or anything like that? Like, or no, not on the back of their jerseys, but I don't think they had any like
team affiliations.
Team
I don't
affiliations
remember.
or anything like that.
A long time.
Before
that might have been before they started like asking for money to do that stuff. I don't know. They might have.
No, congratulations. Congratulations to Tecmo Bowl for being
good job turning 30.
Turning 30. Hopefully somebody's playing you right now. I'm sure. I'm sure if you go to that one of those streaming video game websites, you probably could see somebody playing that game. Vikings won against the Pittsburgh on Thursday. That was a long time ago already, but Thursday night football happened, and the Vikings were kicking their ass in the first half. They had 6 points in the first quarter and 17 in the second quarter and 6 in the third quarter, and then the Steelers had 21 in the fourth.
Oof.
Oh, that turned out to be an 8-point game. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, one possession.
So once again, it went right down to the wire. They have a chance to win it?
Yeah, they were driving down, and it actually threw a ball into the end zone, and Harrison Smith knocked it down. The only reason we won that game was because of Harrison Smith.
Our defense. The defense won that game.
Yep. And even though it also almost gave it up.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering though, with that sound we heard from Zim, he sounds not too peppy.
I don't know if they really came across in that intro of the sound of his voice, but in the video of that sound of his sound clip there, he looked like he just got done crying, like badly. Do I have that?
His
clip?
voice sounded kind of weak too, like Let's
like see. I want to here, Robert. I want to show you here this. Just the beginning. Oh, they took it down.
Oh.
Did they really take it down?
It was on the official Vikings YouTube. Huh?
Imagine a
world no. Stupid. Okay. So tell me if not this is guy.
Watching the tape.
Tell me this isn't a guy that just got done crying.
Oh, geez.
Okay, after watching the tape, there's a lot of good things in the first half, obviously. We played really well.
He's got bags under his eyes. They're totally red.
He's
like sniffling.
Honestly, was really disappointing.
His voice, everything.
We talk about details all week. And then, we had a lot of guys that, were poor technique errors or lineman errors or kind of getting away from doing their own thing. And so I'm going to say on them hard, trying to get them back to being a lot more consistent than what we were in that second half, and trying to look more like the football team that was in the first half. So, questions?
Oh yeah, man, he's run down.
Right, and this was the video, right? So that video was right after watching tape.
Okay.
So like a day or so right after, so like probably Friday, right? 3 days ago.
Yeah.
This was his interview right before watching tape and right after the game.
Same day as the game, though.
Yep.
Okay, another fun night.
His voice is so different.
Just joking around. Another fun night, huh?
That team that played in the first half for us was pretty darn good, and I think could probably beat anybody. The team that played in the second half probably could get beat by anybody. So, there was a lot of really, really good things in the first half. We ran the ball. I thought Cook was outstanding.
So yeah, I think after during watching tape with the Wilfs, I think that they probably fired him, and he can't say anything about it because of contracts, and
that could be. And the Vikings, if they're gonna fire somebody, it's normally not like in the middle of the season type thing. They always wait, but yeah, he very well could know that that's good.
Well, there's new rules out, and I don't know exactly what the rules are. But there's something to do with that they can start looking for a new coach soon now. Now that as long as they let the current coach know that he's not going to be re-signed at the end of the year, they can start looking for a new coach now. Unlike before where, there was this thing called Black Monday, right? And in the NFL, I think that's what it was called because they knew on that Monday you would be either let go or not.
It's the day after the final games of the season.
Now there's a new thing where in the middle of the season, like it is now, they can if they mention it to the coach that they're going to be replaced, they can start looking for it, and so they can fire the person, but not technically fire them and let them play out. I don't know exactly how it works, but there's new rules involved, and I don't know. Hopefully, well, I don't know, and I don't want to say hopefully, like. Hopefully he still has his job, but I don't know what he'd be crying about. And if it's not about his job, I hope it's not anything really bad, Yeah. But he looked really distraught.
I hope the best for him.
I hope that. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to put it.
For sure.
So with that, I don't know.
I was gonna say this one. I was looking at the scores. So the Steelers put up 28 points against us. How many points do you think the Jets, Jaguars, Raiders, and Lions all scored collectively?
How many?
28 points. 4 teams this week scored together the same amount of points that the Steelers scored, and they're a miserable team too. That's really sad.
Wow, that's really sad. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still like, there's a lot of people out there now saying that, the defense is what's losing the games for the Vikings or making it so close. And that it's Zimmer. I still am on the conspiracy theory that Thielen and Kirk are throwing some of these games or making it look like it is Zimmer's fault instead of it being theirs because they don't want to get vaccinated.
Could be.
I have no proof.
We're going to compile that data.
Once again, I at the same time, I still have no proof of it. But, since people like Aaron Rodgers can sit there and throw out fucking stupid conspiracies about how whatever he thinks about the vaccines, I can say that Kirk Cousins is... throwing the games and making it look like it's Zimmer's fault. My big thing too is like, people are like, oh, the defense is losing it. Well, why is the defense on the fucking field? It's because of a fumble or an interception that Kirk just did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I want to see stats that talk about like how much time the defense was on the field compared to how much the time the offense was, and then also include how many times did the offense give the ball back to the other team for it being either a score or if it was a turnover or if it was a turnover on downs. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm wondering what the time of possession is even just for this last game. Because I felt like the Steelers were on the field a lot more than the Vikings, even though the Vikings were winning the game handedly at the beginning.
And a defense that's on the field a lot are going to give up points every once in a while.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And if your offense doesn't reciprocate more points, then it's not the defense's fault.
Yeah.
And look, Harrison Smith.
I was saying to a friend the other day that, like, you know, people want to say Kirk's elite, and I think he's a good quarterback. I'm not going to say he's not a good quarterback, but he can never fix a mistake he makes. If he makes a mistake, he can't get over it. Like, he threw that interception in the game this last week. They almost didn't get over that mistake because he never did anything after that interception. He couldn't do anything.
Yeah. And another thing that really always gets me is when he said, well, the coach made the call, and I'm just going to listen to what the coaches say. I don't know.
It's like, you have the ball.
Yeah, you're the one that's on the field reading the defense, and if the defense is not going to be, you know, if the defense is playing against the play that was called, change it up.
Yeah.
Make that call, right?
And that's just a weak mental approach, like you were saying. If you throw a pick and you just cannot get over it and you cannot correct your mistakes, it's like a sign of a weak mental person. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas like a Tom Brady, he'll just let that go and then go on to the next play, try to do that the best he can, just keep moving forward, like a golfer's mentality almost. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of Tom Brady, like he's absolutely that type of mindset. You can tell that he does not, or at least he sells it that it does not affect his game. Like if he threw a pick, like yes, he's mad in that moment and he's going to yell at a couple people, but then you see him right away in the next session. He's good to go. That those last plays didn't matter. That last touchdown doesn't even matter to him, which you know, that's the reason why he has 700 touchdown passes.
Yeah, good or bad, you got to have that short, memory.
Absolutely.
In football.
Absolutely.
Just go on to the next play and try to do that to the best of your ability. Just keep moving.
And he just had that 700 touchdown passes, which is amazing.
Yeah, and the 700th came to win the game in overtime on Sunday against the Bills, and it was pretty impressive. But I think what was more impressive was the equipment guy.
Yeah, that was the equipment guy. As soon as he saw that the the wide receiver dropped the ball, you could see him on the camera scooting out there to catch that ball. And the reason why he went out there to get that so quickly is because the 600th touchdown pass, a fan got it, and it cost Brady a Bitcoin. Like the dude. The dude's like, yo, I'm not going to give you back your 600th football unless if you give me a full Bitcoin, which at that time was like $50,000. So this big collector of like figurines and comic books and knows all the prices on everything. He tweeted out, Tom Brady's 700th touchdown football is worth 6 figures. Did anyone else notice how quickly equipment guy got the football? But yeah, 6 figures. Wow. So they're all joking about how they saved Tom $50,000, 6 figures worth of money, and it's like, fuck off, Tom Brady. That's like a penny in Tom Brady's pocket.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I would like to say I do love that this story used the quote from Jeremy Padawer because he's like one of my favorite collectors and also designs the AEW action figures.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's like the guy who does that. Oh, so that's just amazing.
He designed this. I'm holding up.
That figurine you're holding up of Matt Jackson or Nick.
One of them.
That's designed by Jeremy Padawer.
Oh, that's really neat.
Yep.
In other football news, the Jaguars are having a hard time. They just had.
Yeah.
What is here? They're
So
two,
Urban Meyer, their new coach.
Tensions boiling over between Coach Urban Meyer's Jaguars players and staff amid a 2-10 start. 2-10, really?
Yeah, and it sounds like Urban Meyer has chewed out the players, his own staff, called them losers.
Holy!
He benched a guy because he fumbled early, and then even though he's like one of their best players, he just wouldn't let him go back in the game until the quarterback asked him, "Hey, why is this guy not playing?" And he didn't have a good excuse, so he let him play again. Like that's the only reason he got back in the game.
Who is this guy?
He used to be a big college coach, and everyone thought he'd change the world, but sounds like he's not ready for this.
Oh,
and that's a tough transition for a college like where you are. Yeah. As a college coach, you're the man, and you can do whatever you want. Like you said, like this guy makes a mistake, bench him for a quarter or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But in the NFL and pro sports, ego and money is like a whole nother story.
Yeah.
It's like you have all these egos that you can't really upset that's why Phil Jackson was so good at, managing all these egos. You can't just go chew out every guy every time he makes a mistake.
No.
Mm-hmm. You got to be sensitive to, or some of these guys will shut down,
It's wow. Yeah. Phil Jackson was like the perfect person to mention about how well a coach can deal with people's psyches and their, like you said, their egos, and more or less just realizing that they're people and they're not just somebody to be ridiculed and just yelled at,
and the balance of power is so much different in pro sports too, where players have so much leverage as well because they're making these absorbent amounts of money. And
I mean, they went through it all. They're here. They're the ones that are making the owners their money. It's not like, I mean, the coach has something to do with it, sure, but like these are the people that are talent. They're the ones that have the talent.
Yeah, I can see that backfiring on Urban Meyer for sure.
Yeah,
having that approach being from a college football background like that.
I mean, you shouldn't be. I don't know. I don't know. There's ways to coach and there's not ways to coach, and if you're an asshole towards your players, I just don't think that's a good way to. That's just not the way to be.
And wasn't there reports where they were like winless at the time or something, and he was in a strip club?
Yeah.
Or something.
He didn't go home with the team, and he went to a strip club.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. That's the same guy, huh? So yeah, and there was a big thing
it's not the way you build credibility in a new in a new program, new city, all that.
Ugh.
Nope, not at all. So anyway,
I don't blame him.
Yeah, but in college football, we've got some news. Gophers got a bowl game.
Does that not happen a whole lot?
Not really.
They were in the bowl game last year, weren't they?
Yeah, since PJ Fleck's been there, they've made a couple, so that's good.
And
but it's been a while since they've had a bunch, consecutive bowl games.
Is PJ Fleck part of the team anymore? Like he's
the coach.
I thought a different coach took over. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
No, he's still there.
Okay.
But it's the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, and it's against West Virginia.
The game. I haven't heard of the Guaranteed Rate Bowl before. Is that new?
I really don't know, but I know that there are a lot of new
Guaranteed Rate
out there.
Rate RATE.
RATE.
That's a really bad name for for a bowl, especially like college football. Like if you said that a little wrong, like if you didn't pronunciate correctly,
that would be pretty awful.
It could be like the grape story, the grapefruit story in Mankato's newspaper that one time. Guaranteed rate RATE. That's a stupid name. And so like I'm seeing. So like I said, I haven't heard of that one before, and I'm seeing there's a list of other ones here. The PUBG Mobile New Mexico Bowl.
That's
Kimmel?
a video game.
PUBG, yeah, that's a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Kimmel has a bowl. The LA Bowl presented by Stifle. What the heck?
I guess now.
Okay, are these the Lockheed
There's
Martin
sponsorships.
Armed Ford? What? The Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. Wow, they're
Yes.
really going. Like I got upset about the NFL like having a little bit too much Army in it in the first place, but like straight up talking about like the black market fucking Lockheed Martin people.
Yeah. And this is a traditional game. Now, this bowl's been around for a while and has had a name.
Was it named
like a traditional
was it-
Armed Forces Bowl.
Mm.
But now they've added Lockheed Martin to it, and that's, I mean, they don't have a good track record.
No. But
That's
like
really
Barstool's Sports Arizona Bowl, that's okay with me. The Barstool
I like that one. I
Sports,
kind of
right?
like that one.
Yeah.
It's tied in with like sports, like what football is, not like killing people and shit, or like comedy or video games. And then PUBG Mobile, that's killing people in video games. Jesus.
And Jimmy Kimmel killed comedy. So, I mean,
Well, there you go. What the heck? No. So like, are all of these brand new bowls, or are they like just renamed?
most of these are, the ones I've posted.
Have the bowl name? Is that our question of the week?
That should be.
Oh, maybe. No, it's not. It's not. But have the bowl games gotten out of control? Absolutely. Like,
no.
no.
Here, I got a list here. Let me list off a few more. Tell me what you guys think of these.
Okay.
Roofclaim.com, Boca Raton Bowl, Cricket Celebration Bowl, the Lending Tree Bowl,
Cricket
Radiance Technologies Independence
Hold on.
Bowl.
Cricket Celebration Bowl, is that a bowl for cricket?
No, that's the Cricket Mobile
Oh,
phones.
that's confusing. Like,
It is.
as a sports fan, I would be like, hey, the cricket, what did you say it was called? The Cricket Guaranteed Bowl? Whatever it is. Like, what the fuck? Yes, corporate tie-ins are too much. That's the other question. Are corporate tie-ins too much? Yes, I would like to say yes, they are. Wow, like Crypto.com is now the Staples Center. Did you know that? Did you hear about that, Rob?
I remember hearing about
Crypto.com Center.
Yeah, I don't really like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Staples Center is a little outdated. I could have gone for a better sponsor than that, but
Yeah.
still, yeah.
That's balls. Like,
I just think it's funny when they take
don't
the
like the
highest
crypto.
bidder no matter what. Like
Yeah.
when they first put the advertisements on the NBA jerseys, the Lakers are a big prominent team, and so you think they'd get something really prominent and well-known on their jerseys, and their first ad sponsorship.
like Minnesota Lynx and the Rochester Mayo, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
Minnesota,
Something-
based in Minnesota, yeah. Okay.
So the Lakers, with their first one, went with the highest bidder no matter what they did. So maybe you guys have heard of Wish.com,
Oh yeah.
that horrible garbage website that
yeah.
sells you trash.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that,
That
on
was
their
their
logo.
first
Yeah.
logo on their jerseys was Wish.com. And I actually since I live out here, I remember the radio people being like, what is this? And looking it up during their programming, being like, this website is awful.
Yuck.
Like,
yuck.
Their own market could not stand it. So you just go with the highest bidder no matter what, I guess.
Let's move on.
it's
Let's move on.
ridiculous.
Let's move on.
Yeah,
from
let's
this.
that's
move on.
terrible.
Hey, I got good news.
What?
My Winnipeg Blue Bombers won the Grey Cup.
Yeah, the Grey Cup 2021 just happened. The Winnipeg, what are they called again? The Winnipeg
Blue Bombers.
The Blue Bombers won 33-25 against Hamilton
Tiger Cats.
Tiger Cats.
Yeah, that was an intense finish too, huh? Did you see the interception where they tipped it up about 3 times and the guy scooped it up? That was
Really?
That's what I love about Canadian football. You see stuff you just don't expect because they have the rules are so different, but it just allows for weird shit to happen. I love it.
Huh. Well, good. Good for the good. So their season's done, I'm guessing?
Yep.
Okay.
And they're looking, a lot of those coaches are getting picked off and being brought to college, it sounds like. A couple of the coaches from the CFL.
Oh, good for them.
So good for them.
Good for them. Don't go to that crappy corporate-sponsored, Army-sponsored killing people NFL.
Baseball is fun again in Minnesota.
So here we are. Once again, as we all know, baseball is not fun again in Minnesota because it's not going on right now. But even though that baseball is not going on at the moment because of inclement weather, I bet we'd be playing baseball if we didn't have the winter. If we didn't have winter, we'd probably have baseball right now. But we have winter, so we don't have baseball in Minnesota or across the nation right now. But we still have news, is what I'm trying to say. And one of the news topics that came in is that we got a brand new first base coach, catching coach, Hank Conger. Welcome to Minnesota. Do you know anything about this Hank, C-Dubs?
I know that he's new.
He's new.
Yes.
The Twins say that we're excited to welcome new first base catching coach. So, well, that'll be good because we like to take our catchers and put them at first base. That's kind of like what we do. Who's our catcher right now? Do you know?
Who's catcher?
Yeah.
Garver.
Oh. What?
Or no, he's not. It's
we have two of them.
And the rookie Jeffers.
We have three of them: Jeffers, Astudillo, and not Cave.
No, isn't it Garver?
Garver, yeah, Garver.
Yeah, okay, I was right.
I didn't hear you the first time. That's why.
It's okay. I doubted.
So
myself.
maybe one of them is going to be moving to first base soon.
Ooh, permanent first base for Astudillo?
Ooh,
I'd like that.
Ooh,
I love him.
I love him too. We got some news in KBO and also LA Dodgers news. Puig is moving to
Yasiel Puig, the wild horse.
He's moving to Korea. He signed a 1-year, $1 million contract, maximum amount for the first year foreign players. Source tells. So yeah, he's moving to Korea and is going to be playing for the KBO. How do you feel about he came in? He came in last year? Last year, right? Is this the guy that I kept on saying he didn't look like a Dodger?
No.
Oh,
that was you're thinking of Albert Pujols.
Oh, Pujols. That's what I'm thinking of.
No, Puig was he played for the Dodgers for a couple years, and then he went to the Reds, and then was traded to Cleveland. But he's just a character. I love him. He's a wild guy. He one time being interviewed about a game. About how what brought him to hit the home run or whatever, the dugout was covered in crickets, and he said that the crickets were the reason that he hit a home run, and next time he's going to eat them.
Wow,
that's the kind of guy he is. He's really wild.
Okay. He's an impressive athlete too.
Yeah, he is
kind of a once in a generation athlete.
Until a few years ago, he'd never worked out in his entire MLB career, and he's that good already.
Wow.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Never conditioned.
Huh.
Yeah, he's naturally born that way.
Well, hopefully KBO enjoys his antics.
Yeah, he's gonna play for the Heroes, I believe.
It'll be fun. We'll have to keep an eye out on him.
FuzzJockRadio. Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it.
And we got some Lynx news coming up.
FuzzJockRadio.
Always forget that part. The Lynx. You hear this? You hear that? I got the new Lynx schedule.
Hot off the wire.
A couple days ago, the Lynx they put out their schedule, and the first game of the Lynx is going to be versus our friends Seattle at 9 p.m. on a Friday night on May 6th. So make sure to keep an eye out. May 6th is right around the corner. As we know, if everything goes the way it was in 2021, that's going to come up very fast. So I don't know about you guys, but 2021 has been going really, really fast.
Yeah, what day did it start? May
6th. Friday night. So I got the schedule printed out so we can go over it anytime you guys want to. Seattle, and then on the May 8th, Washington, and then the 10th, Indiana. So May.
All right.
May.
Go May.
Go Lynx. Go Wolves. Go Carl. Go Ant. Go not wolf.
Update.
Not a wolf. It's not a wolf. Don't worry, it's not a wolf. It's like a cougar or something. But
Yeah, that was
but like,
definitely a big cat.
oh,
Yeah, exactly. It's a big cat.
Oh, a wolf would be like a howl sound.
Yeah.
We should change that up.
Okay.
Wow, I just thought of that. Did you hear my brain changing, making sense? The Timberwolves, since we've seen them last, have been on a losing streak. The 1, 2, 3. Sometimes I count just to show everybody that I know how to count.
5 out of 6.
Five.
Like they lost.
Yeah, the last 5 out of 6 games they lost, fortunately. But they did win against the Trailblazers on December 12th. Was there a game tonight? There might have been a game tonight too.
No, I think they were off tonight.
Okay.
No, they're not playing.
116 to 111. So hopefully,
That was a hard-fought game.
yeah, that was a fun game to watch. All these games kind of, hell no, they were. Well, the problem with all these games is that D'Angelo wasn't playing. They didn't have all three of the characters on court, and that's what
that three-headed monster.
And that's what Ant was talking about earlier. Let's see if I can play that without screwing anything up.
Oh no, you screwed it up. No, just kidding.
Oh, dude, did I?
Especially a point guard too. It's tough to have a guy like that out.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And here, I'm sorry that no, I can't play that.
Can't play it? Okay. No more tap
You can
dancing.
do that. Like D'Lo can win us a game from the 3-point line. Cat can win us a game from doing everything, and I can just do what I do. So I mean, it's when you got 3 of us on the court, it's hard to guard.
Yeah, it's hard to guard.
That was like one of the most vague statements. Oh, this guy can shoot. This guy can do everything. I can do everything.
Yeah, and he's not wrong.
He has been very impressive though. That was Edwards, right? You're talking about? Yeah.
You're wearing a basketball jersey, and you sent me a picture holding a basketball and a basketball court. You must be watching the team.
First take, by the way.
Yeah, that was great. It looked great. Did you go find the basketball court on purpose? Like, did you or was that something like? Well, because I sent you the message, and then a couple hours later, you sent me a message. Oh, sorry, I wasn't able to send you a picture because I just got this message, and then maybe 10 minutes later, very little amount of time, there's you sending me a picture of you in a basketball court holding a basketball in a basketball jersey. And I'm like, how could he prepare this picture so quickly?
No,
and be in an actual court?
No, the reason was I left my phone, and you had texted me earlier in the day for the photo, and I had left my phone in the car, and it died. My phone is just, the battery life is terrible.
Okay.
And then I went to the YMCA, plugged it in, got done with everything, saw, I need a photo, went upstairs to the gym, took a ball out, stood at half court.
Wow, so it was like perfect timing for you.
Yeah, it was just fortunate circumstances.
Wow. That's awesome.
I did have the Larry Bird jersey planned out because I knew I'd be on tonight.
Okay.
That's one thing I did have planned out.
Yeah, that was really neat. That was a really neat thing to happen. So
you own a basketball court? How did you get that?
That was the most amazing part of it. It's like, how?
Yeah, my building has a swimming pool. Does anyone else live at the YMCA?
So have you been paying attention to the Timberwolves in basketball?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Fun to watch, huh?
Yeah, very exciting. And yeah, we've been getting a lot of production from guys like Vanderbilt, who's just a monster rebounder.
That's a big one there. Vanderbilt, and then McDaniels.
McDaniels
has been off and on, but he's definitely somebody that's people have to contend against.
Yeah, and those guys they can be defensive stoppers too if they continue to progress. And
yep, Vanderbilt for sure.
That will be huge for this program. And you know what you're getting from Russell. You know what you're getting from Towns. Edwards has surpassed, all the expectations.
All the expectations.
And his pull-up game looks nice. His D is nice.
Man, some of those blocks that he's been getting is just like, what are you doing? How did you get there?
He's one of those freak athletes too.
Beasley has been off and on lately, but like once he gets going, his threes are nonstop.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he goes on these stretches where his shot selection is terrible,
mm-hmm.
and then he'll shut it down. Like we were talking about with Kirk Cousins, I think he lingers on these bad plays.
No, I can see that.
Can't move past it at times,
Yep.
but he's one of those streaky guys where he can get hot. And he's really hot, but yeah, just consistency over that long season. That's what you need from a guy like that, is to be consistent.
So right now looks like we are 12-15, which makes us 9th in our conference, and we fell back a little bit since the last time we talked to you guys because of those 5
Still in the
losses.
hunt for the playoffs, though.
Still in the hunt. There's still a lot of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are they, right? Not a 9 spot, something right behind Denver, something.
Yep.
Okay.
And we got Denver coming up, Los Angeles, Dallas, a couple games against Dallas, Utah, Boston. So a couple really tough games there. But if we get D'Angelo back, I think we'll be good.
Buzz question of the week.
Shoot, I did that wrong.
We all know what that sound means, or what this jingle is. It's time for the
Buzz question of the week.
This is when I ask the other hosts a question, and then they answer with their opinion answer, and then explain why their answer is the best answer and the only answer. And then we don't discuss why they're wrong about that. We just move on.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense? So this week I do not have a question of the week, but I guess C-Dubs does. So they will be the question of the week person.
So my question is, what are the Wolves missing to be a championship caliber team?
What are the Wolves missing to become a caliber championship
caliber team? So what piece do we need to really start getting these wins and rattling them off? What do we need? So whoever wants to go first, I'm not gonna.
You want to take this one first?
Oh boy, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, I'll take it. It's right on the tip of my tongue. And what I think, what they need to become a caliber championship team is what Ant is already mentioning. Ant, over the last couple game interviews, has been mentioning that he's been trying his hardest to tell Karl Anthony Towns to believe in himself. And what we need, there's quotes out there of Ant saying, yeah, I tell him, just don't second guess yourself. Just shoot that ball. Don't make those extra moves. We need Karl to step up and become who we all know he is. He needs to be confident in himself, and he needs to take those shots and not worry about it. And I really think that that's what we need to be a championship team is Cat. Yeah, that's it. Cat needs to become more confident in himself.
All right, Rob?
Yeah, that's a great answer. And dang, yeah, that was well put. I think we need, we have good pieces and all that, but we need a defensive stopper. Mm. And Okogie, he can be that, but it's tough. And it's got to be a mindset for a whole team as well.
To play D.
Exactly. Yeah. Team defense. If there's one breakdown. So I'd say just more of a defensive minded, because, everyone likes a flashy play, shooting threes, fast breaks, but nobody, a lot of people don't appreciate that shut down half court defense that you need to be successful in the playoffs. So we need, maybe that one extra defensive stopper to alleviate some of the pressure from these other guys.
Nice.
Cool.
And that was our
Buzz question of the week.
I did it great that time. Look at that. Look at that.
What is slashing?
Slashing is like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that brings us to hockey and the Wild, and Kirill Kaprizov has scored 32 points in 28 games. 10 goals and 22 assists. That's averaging more than a point a game.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And last week when I heard some people talking about points and players, he was like he was averaging about a point a game. Now this is over a point a game. And
well, what's even crazier is if you take off the first, I think it's like 5 games, he actually didn't score maybe 1 or 2 points in those first 5 games. It's been since then he's been scoring like 2 points almost every game. He gets a goal and an assist, or 2 goals, or 2 assists, or
that's amazing.
He's rattling off just points. It's crazy for a second-year player. For a
second-year NHL player.
That's true, but he's still young.
And there are other players that are like him that have played in other leagues or in other countries for a lot longer than they have played in NHL. So that's not really. I wanted to make that a controversy, but it's not really a controversy.
I think he only played for Russia before.
Yeah. He played for multiple years, but yeah, he is still young and he has a lot of games ahead of him, and just hopefully keeps healthy and keeps putting up these points, because what that makes makes the Minnesota Wild 28-19 still at the top of their conference. On the other side of the pond, Washington is 28-17. So, and we've let's see here, where are we at right now? We're on are we the 12th right now?
We're 2 teams have 40 points. We have 39, and then Anaheim has 37.
Okay.
So we're second or third best team in the league.
And we have a couple games coming up on the 14th, 16th. Buffalo, Carolina, and Florida, Dallas, and Detroit, and Winnipeg to end the year. So, did you guys know that Mankato has a big thing coming up here soon?
No, I don't.
National Hockey Day, right?
National Hockey Day is coming to Mankato, Minnesota.
Oh.
It was supposed to be here last year, but because of COVID, they moved it to this year. But yeah, that should be something interesting to not partake in, because I'm not going to go to that. There's going to be way too many people.
Find out about. We'll cover it.
Yeah, we'll cover it. So,
open wide for some soccer.
Brings us to soccer. Did you have any more to talk about with the Wild or hockey at all?
No.
Okay.
You can move on.
They're just. It's hard to talk about them when they're doing so well, right?
Yeah, they're just continuing to succeed and looking great.
Wonderful.
So good for them.
Yeah. The New York
City Football Club.
New York City Firefighters Conference. The NYCFC beats Portland Timbers for their club's first MLS Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So a bunch of cups are happening.
Final this weekend.
The game was 1-1 after full time and extra time, and was decided in penalty kicks. Oh, this is the game that you were watching the other day when I was talking to you, and they won 4-2. This you were confused or something about this is the first time you ever seen a full time with extra time and decided in penalty kicks type of thing
in a MLS game. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I had never seen it before. It was exciting.
How does it work?
So they go to penalties, which is meaning it's just the one of the kickers, a guy who kicks, a striker or whatever, and then it goes straight to the goalie, and that's it. It's just them on one, and they
Okay.
They kick, and either the goalie blocks it or they score, and then they get 5 chances. So
okay.
New York got 4 of them, Portland got 2, and that was it. That was the win. But there's a funny story that goes with this.
Yeah. What's that?
So their team coach, Ronnie Dyla. So before they won, he was known for, after a team he coached in another league, after they didn't get kicked out of the league, he said he would strip naked and do push-ups.
Okay,
and he did.
Hold on. What?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What?
So you can get in other leagues of hockey or soccer, if you don't do well enough in the season,
you
get
strip
relegated
down?
to a lower league, and the lower league teams that were really good get put elevated to the higher league.
And you have to strip naked.
Well, no, you don't have to. He said he would.
What?
And so he did.
Hold on.
So then,
okay, what?
Yeah.
Okay,
well, hang on, it gets funny.
So this coach.
Is this an episode of Ted Lasso? What's going on here?
It basically is.
What's Ted Lasso?
You've never seen
It's
that?
a TV show.
Is it something that we should be sponsored by? No, we're not going to be sponsored by it because we are not sponsored by anything. And I bet you're just sitting there like, what do you mean you're not sponsored by anything? How does this whole boat float without sponsors? Because all podcasts have sponsors, and we're like, well, we hate advertisements. And so we don't interrupt your enjoyment of listening to this by putting advertisements on it. How do you pay for it, Fuzz? Well, we have a website for buying our merch, and that's fuzztalkshop.com. So if you like what you're listening to, go to fuzztalkshop.com and buy yourself a t-shirt or a hoodie or a mug or something, and let us know what you think.
And when you buy
that was like the
make
worst.
sure you strip it off after
That was
you win
like
a game.
the worst ad. Like I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be like the perfect time to like talk about fuzztalkshop.com, but that did not work. But
So anyway,
so this guy, this coach, he told everybody that if his team, either makes it or doesn't make it, he's going to strip his clothes off. And then they won it. And he stripped down. He stripped.
Yeah. So how this came about actually was he was known for doing this, and he'd only done it once, but he was well known for doing it. So the media actually asked him leading up to the MLS Cup, "Hey, are you going to do this again if they win the MLS Cup?"
Okay.
And he was like, "I don't know, maybe we'll see. I guess it would be good, whatever." He was kind of cagey about it, and then they won the MLS Cup, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna." And so he stripped down to his underpants and did push-ups with the whole team around him. They put the cup in front of him, like while he's doing the push-ups, and he's like looking at it. It was very funny. And then the media even asked him, "So which was better, stripping down when avoiding being elevated down, or when your team wins a title?" And he says, "Of course, the last one," because I mean, winning a title is
that
the
means
best
more.
thing
Yeah.
But I just
fun.
The video is hilarious.
It is. So the video is of him surrounded by his football team, stripping down naked
on the field in Portland.
and then doing push-ups. And Portland's cold right now too, and it's an outdoor stadium, so there's that aspect too.
Mm-hmm.
Shrinkage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was in the pool.
Yeah, shrinkage. Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Yeah. AEW. This is way too long. They need to change up this header soon. It's like way too long. Maybe it's not, because it is like the end of it's the main event.
Mm-hmm.
It's AEW.
Nothing's better than that Hangman pop.
This last topic. Yeah, Hangman. Winter's coming this Wednesday, which means that that Bryan Danielson, is that his name, right?
Yep.
Okay, we're saying it correctly now. Bryan Danielson versus our current champion, Hangman Adam Page, which is going to be a great episode. Do you know much about AEW?
No, just the very little you guys were talking about before the show then.
Yeah. So this Bryan Danielson, he just showed up in AEW. So we talked to Robert a little bit of the structure of AEW and where it came from and stuff. And this Bryan Danielson, he came from WWE. His contract was expired.
Yep.
And like a couple months later, all of a sudden he showed up in AEW. and has been kicking motherfuckers' asses. Like so in AEW or WWE, he was a babyface, and babyface is like one of the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
And his thing was, the fans would go, yes, 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 and he's all about the yes, and like you never say no to anything, and that you can do everything, right?
Yep.
Right.
Believe in him. Yes, he can do it.
Believe in him. He can do it. Yes, yes. He came over to WWE, and the fans started doing that. But their plan with in AEW, sorry if I mixed it up, but he came over to AEW, a different name because WWE owns his old name.
Mm-hmm.
And comes into AEW, and everybody knows that it's him because person doesn't really change. And so the crowd started doing yes, yes, yes when he showed up, and they're like, and he's like, no, I'm gonna be a heel. He's gonna be a bad guy. So now they're doing no, no, no when he's doing
they
different.
chant no.
That's awesome.
But so he's been a bad guy, and he's been, his whole deal is, I'm just gonna kick your guys' asses. I came from this different company. I want to wrestle you, and I want to just kick your ass, right? Basically.
Yep.
And so that's his deal. And so he's been nonstop kicking everybody's asses, and working his way up so he can go against the current champion, Hangman Adam Page.
Okay.
And Hangman Adam Page is like the wrestling character that I think that most of us can really relate to. He's what they call the anxious millennial cowboy. And what that is that, he's one of us, right? We're all millennials, right? Here. We all know the being anxiety ridden and stuff, right? So his story started before AEW even began. Him and his friends were in a company out in Japan called New Japan Wrestling, and him and his buddies, these two guys, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes that used to be part of WWE, and this dude named Adam Cole,
Kenny Omega.
They were all in NW or
Bullet Club,
New Japan, as a group called the Bullet Club.
Oh.
And then their contracts all started expiring, and they came back to the United States and started up AEW. The Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega started up AEW, and then they decided that Hangman Adam Page was going to be the first. Their buddy from Bullet Club was going to be AEW's first champion. And throughout the storyline,
he first faces Jericho.
Hangman faced Jericho, an old star from WWE, and Jericho won. When Hangman was bound to win because he's part of the friendship, he's part of the elite, he's part of the group that started up the AEW. He's going to be the winner, and he said it in conferences that he's going to be the first champion. And he fucking lost. And he felt so bad. And his friends, Kenny Omega, was like, oh man, my friend feels really bad about losing. Let's join together as a tag team so we can boost your ego or boost your self-confidence again. And as a tag team, Hangman and Omega, they were winning the tag team champions. And they became tag team champions, which was great. But Hangman still felt bad. And during this time, he was, starting to drink more. And during his promos, he would have a beer in his hand or a glass of liquor in his hand, and you could tell that it was starting to affect him. And there got to a point where him as championship was it against the Young Bucks?
It was against FTR.
When they lost the championship?
Yeah, it was to FTR.
Okay,
and that happened because Hangman sabotaged his best friends, the Young Bucks, because he got manipulated by FTR. So he felt really bad that he fucked up all this shit.
So this new tag team came in, FTR, and started catering to Hangman and being his drinking buddies. You know, like, oh, we're buddies, we're drinking buddies, and they tricked him into fucking over the Young Bucks, his actual friends.
Yeah.
And then lost the championship to FTR with Omega, and then just felt even worse and felt that he let his best friend down, and Kenny was pissed. And so it broke up at that moment in time, broke up the Elite. And Hangman just kept on feeling horrible about himself, started losing more and more matches. And then this other faction, the Dark Order, their leader died in real life, Brody Lee. And so they needed, storyline-wise, they needed a new leader. They're like kind of this cult thing. And they really looked up to Hangman and wanted him to be their leader, and started giving him more confidence of who he is, and started making him realize he needed to put down the bottle. And he took some time off because he had a kid, came back, new and improved, went against Kenny Omega, his best friend / old tag team partner, a year ago. Because this now
and they're still at odds. Him and the group and everything.
He beat at Full Gear up in Minneapolis. Hangman Adam Page beat his old best friend for the title and won. And
the best, I also want to say the best part of that was when he wins the championship, the Dark Order comes out to circle around him, and they hand him a beer, and he looks at them and he smacks the beer out of their hands, and he goes in for a big hug, and then they lift him on his shoulders and they celebrate because the point of the story is believe in yourself, have friends, and that's more important than being drunk and, you know.
Oh, that's sweet.
Like,
Yeah. Cool message on top of the whole
story. It's a beautiful story.
And so this is a story that's been going, like we just said that we said that earlier that AEW is going on its third year right now. This is its third year. This story just ended after 3 years.
Oh, dang. So yeah, that's a pretty deep storyline to carry out in a 3-year span like that.
For wrestling, right?
Yeah.
For a wrestling program, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what this AEW does. And that's who Hangman Adam Page is. And now this is going to be...
So he's the current champion
right now?
right
He's the current champion right now. His first contestant is going to be Bryan Danielson. And it's going to be this Wednesday on TNT. It's not even a pay-per-view. They have big matches like this on regular programming. On TNT at 7 p.m. Central?
Mm-hmm. 7 p.m. Central.
So that'll be good. Who knows if there's gonna beat Hangman or not?
Be interesting.
And then winter is coming. This is the second winter is coming. It's like a pay-per-view, but it's free on TV. And last year they had a big debut of Sting. Sting showed up last year. And also somebody else showed up last year, didn't they? Or was that something else happened?
Christian was around that time too, but it wasn't at Winter is Coming.
So big question is, are they going to have a big reveal this year? Is a new wrestler going to show up?
People are thinking Bray Wyatt.
And they're going to be moving to TBS. Yeah, Bray Wyatt might be it. TBS, they're moving to TBS here soon, and the TBS title tournament is down to the final 4. The semifinal matches will be against Nyla Rose versus Ruby Soho, Jade Cargill versus Thunder Rosa, and those are going to be on this Wednesday too.
I think one of them is, and because they still have to finish this. The first one will happen at the New Year's event, or the championship will happen at the New Year's event. So they have 2 more weeks.
Well, they do need to have. They've been great with women's wrestling and showcasing that it's not just a fluke or just a side thing. It is actual wrestling, but they do need to. I think they need to have more than just one women's match every Wednesday night.
I hope that happens.
Because that would be great. I don't know where the sounder went for. Fuzzy memory trivia time. Let me see here. I got it somewhere. I can just keep on talking. We're fine.
Tap dancing on the radio.
Fuzzy questions. Is that what it's called? No, I don't know.
Bomb.
Is it this one?
Have you already had a joint?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming down. Yeah. Well, listen, I can't stop smoking. I smoked during fights. I used to have to smoke. I'm sorry, I'm a smoker.
Oh no, Tyson.
Did you have any marijuana leading up to the training of this fight? What are you doing here?
I smoke every day. I never stop smoking.
Did you have one right before the fight?
Absolutely, yes.
How does the marijuana effect help you into the fight?
It's just who I am. It has no effect on me from a negative standpoint. It's just what I do and who I am and how I'm gonna die.
Did it
There's no
help?
explanation. There's no beginning. There's no end.
Did it help numb the pain a little bit that you might have felt?
No, it just numbs me. It doesn't numb the pain.
Mm-hmm. And you said you want to
Good answer to that.
help
They're trying to
other people, but
they're trying to trick them. Okay, so yeah, maybe that'll be the new sounder. I smoke weed every day. I don't, because it's not legal in Minnesota, so I don't partake in the marijuanas, but Tyson does. Okay, fuzzy memory trivia.
All right.
This is where I ask the Hess a question, and then they answer it. And there's only one answer. It's not a true or false question. It's an actual question. Actual answers. I don't smoke marijuana. C-dubs.
Yes.
Oh, the score is 0-2 after 14 episodes.
I have 2 points.
C-dubs has 2
episodes.
So you don't partake in this, do you?
No, I just ask you guys questions because I know the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fuzzy knows all
And
the
then
answers.
so you get so what I'm trying to say is you get a point if you know the answer. Okay. Once again, I don't smoke marijuana. I'm just weird like this all the time. So I'm going to ask you guys a question, and then you will answer the. It'll be a Robert Robbins. Robert Robbins.
Robin?
Why is this show all of a sudden going downhill?
I think it's on the rails.
Is it on the
I don't
rails?
think it's off the rails.
Oh,
I think
that's
it's
right.
on the rails.
Robert here, by the way, had a show on Fuzz Talk Radio back in the day. It was really awesome. Called On the Rails.
Thank you so much that was such a great time. I'm glad you gave us that opportunity.
Yeah, and maybe you could be on it again. Don't look at the answers. They're right on the screen.
I won't look at the screen then. That's all good.
You ready, you guys? I don't know why I'm stalling so much. C-dubs. In 2001, Larry Allen made the NFL Pro Bowl for which team?
From which team or for which team?
For which team?
The NFC.
Incorrect. Rob.
For what team you said?
Yeah.
For the Cowboys.
Correct. Ding, 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 ding.
I thought it was meaning which team. NFC or AFC, whatever.
In 2001, Larry Allen made the NFL Pro Bowl for which team?
Should be from.
Okay.
But you got a point. That's good. We got 1-2 now.
Jeez. Trying to take this point away.
In a while.
Don't discount my trivia points. Come on, man.
Where is the Volleyball Hall of Fame located?
In what city is that the?
Where is the Volleyball Hall of Fame located?
I'm going to say Palo Alto, California.
Incorrect. C-dubs.
New Jersey.
Incorrect. Holyoke, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
C-dubs, what year did the United States Open expand to 72 holes from 36?
1984.
Incorrect. Rob.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
What year did the United States Open expand to 72 holes from 36?
92.
Incorrect. 1898.
Jeez.
Holy shit.
I meant 1892.
Yeah, that's what he meant.
Rob, who did LeBron James have 61 points against as a Miami Heat player?
I'm going to guess the Knicks.
Incorrect. C-dubs.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Incorrect. Charlotte Bobcats. C-Dubs, who was the first woman to be inducted into the Soccer Hall of Fame?
Tessa Thompson.
Incorrect. Rob.
I feel like I listened to an episode when you asked this question. And
That's a possibility. That's definitely a possibility.
It's I don't know.
April Heinrichs.
Yeah.
And
have you already had a joint?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming down. Yeah. Well, listen, I can't stop smoking.
That'll be their new sounder. That was Fuzzy Memory Trivia, which means that we are at the end of the episode 14. Wow, guys, that was awesome. We like to end the episode with talking about like what are we gonna do this next week or till the next time we see you. You got any plans there, Rob?
Not really. I got a family Christmas on Saturday. I haven't seen a lot of my family in quite a while. So.
Yeah, understandable. I mean, if you're gonna
looking forward to that.
Do all that stuff.
I'll be working weekends down at Toontown. So if you're in Mankato, you need to do some Christmas shopping. Stop down and get some wax.
Not sponsored, but go visit our friends.
Local. Yep, you're right. Yeah.
And yeah, support local businesses if they're supporting the community back, like Carl does. Carl's a great guy that owns Toontown, so make sure to stop down.
But
there.
Yeah, nothing too special, just kind of chilling.
Good. That's not a bad thing to do, especially during these times. I mean,
watch all these goofy bowl games.
Pandemic's still happening, and you haven't gotten sick yet. Why get sick now, right?
For sure, yeah. And I don't want to relax too much, but we still gotta live our lives. And I'm fortunate to be here with you guys tonight. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we do things safe.
Yeah.
Why not? C-Dubs, what do you got going on this next week?
I'm gonna count how many episodes there are, so I can confirm we're either on 83 or 84. That's what I'm gonna do this week.
What's that? I wasn't listening.
I'm gonna count how many episodes we're at because I know we're getting towards 100.
Well, we did get to 4,000 downloads.
4,000 downloads.
That did
next
happen.
Is 100
so
episodes.
Next is 100 episodes. So that might be this episode or next episode. We'll find out, right? We'll
find out.
Will you let us know next week what episode
I will.
we're at?
I'm gonna do all the homework.
Okay.
Fuzzy, what are you gonna do this week?
Oh shoot, I forgot that this question is going to be asked. I am probably going to. Well, first off, thank you, Rob, for showing up, being here, being kind, being you.
Thank you for the photo. Everything you've done has been phenomenal.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you guys so much for having me.
And hopefully it won't be 2 years the next time that we have you on the show.
Dude, I'm around.
Because COVID's been around 2 years? Or it's 1 year?
Yeah.
1 year? 1 year. I don't even know what to...
2 years.
Yeah, close to 2, I think.
Close to 2 already?
Yeah, it's almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. I'm going to probably just contemplate where time's gone.
FuzzJockRadio.
Try and get them back to being a lot more consistent than what we were in that second half, and trying to look more like the football team that was in the first half. So, questions?
You can do that. Like, D-Lo can win us a game from the 3-point line. Cat can win us a game from doing everything. And I can just do what I do. So, I mean, when you got 3 of us on the court, it's hard to guard.
You never know. We might have some gold around our waist in 2022.